I have a feeling this week is going to be a busy one. So just before I put up the currency of the week, I thought I'd give you a rundown of my schedule. As I speak to you now, we are getting about 20 million baht out of Thailand. I'm due to speak later with a client who has some Swedish krona or crown. We have one UAE-based business registering and another Lebanese client looking to sell about 1.1 million sterling into a foreign currency. His onboarding will be completed hopefully today. And then later on today, I'll be talking with our German client looking to purchase in London about securing a forward line for about 5 million sterling. So a variety of matters for a variety of clients. It is going to be frantic, but busy is good. So yes, Malaysian ringgit is the currency of the week, but it's worth me pointing out that a number of our clients whose home country or currency might be Malaysian ringgit tend to have their capital out of the country. So already in Singapore as Singapore dollars, or in Hong Kong as Hong Kong dollars, or indeed denominated in US dollar perhaps. We have counterparties that we work with directly in Hong Kong primarily who trade for us. So I'm not up at 3 o'clock in the morning quoting rates of exchange. That would be some near madness. But we are able to straddle those time zones. So nothing is lost in terms of efficiency of execution. I was thinking about this the other day. There are some, not necessarily significant, but some obvious parallels between the buying and selling of a house and the process and the professionals that you rely on to help you do that, and the buying and the selling of a currency, so moving money internationally. For one thing, an estate agent works for the vendor, and I, as a currency broker, work for the client who holds the asset. So if you have a foreign currency, you're bringing it into sterling, I'm working for you. The level of competition that you get, the value for money that you get from your estate agent, and indeed from me as a currency broker, largely depends on not just charging, but access, experience, acumen, and really the ability to incorporate sort of advantage when it comes to things like negotiation. That is true of property and indeed currency. But one of the key things that distinguishes the two, obviously they're totally different and unrelated fields, but margin in my line of work is unregulated. So you can have one company that will charge you 0.1% for services rendered, and another company that might charge you 2% or 3% for services rendered. Essentially, the product is the same thing, the exchanging of that asset, of that currency, the providing you with sterling in exchange for your euros or your US dollars. So how can it be that the difference in what you get is the same, you're getting the same product, but the fees can vary so wildly? And in my view, it comes down to the size of the business. So it's interesting to note that someone like PrimeCap, tiny wee as we are, boutique in style and form, can and are governed by exactly the same regulatory requirements and conditions as a company far bigger than us. Now, we, as a broker, don't receive or hold client money. And the receiving and the holding and the sort of appropriate oversight of client money is perhaps the biggest risk to clients in our industry. We don't worry about that because we rely on an authorized payment institution, an FCA regulated entity to take care of that element of our service for us, the settlement of client funds. And consequently, and here's where I kind of come to my point, we can strip out waste, expense that creeps into rates of exchange and margins that pushes them wider, that makes them less competitive than a firm like us could afford to be. So, by contrast to our dear peers in the estate agency and property sphere, it's not about size giving access to stock. So for instance, you think of a big high street brand, they have numerous offices in numerous locations. They can tailor what they show their customer to the customer's specific preferences. And then they might splice in a bespoke service, a property finding service to look at the rest of the market. Now, from our point of view, the product that we deal in is exactly the same as these huge behemoths that we compete against. It's intensely personal though. So our approach, we have far fewer clients. I mean, when I was at Currencies Direct, I think we used to register 600 clients a month on the private client desk alone. PrimeCap has 450 clients. So that gives you a sense of just how sort of, I don't know, not glacial, but how our focus is sort of rather different. We're not looking to court high street customers. My door is always open to discuss any currency brief with a client, especially if we can add value, because even if they don't buy currency from us, they're a fabulous marketing tool. The fact that we can give pertinent advice and guidance, it demonstrates the skill and dexterity of a boutique outfit. And who knows, even if someone doesn't buy currency from us, they may talk to a friend who has questions to ask. That's what we're here for, and that's what we can afford to be here for. Rant over. Get on with your Monday.